right, we are up, we are live. Let's see, we go ahead and share the changes here. Oh, hold on. Make sure my connection's to how am I coming through to anybody that's on the live? How am I coming through on the live? My audio, my video to or is there any connection issues or anything? I'll put a 1 or a count in the chat if you could. Just let me know. It's Tawab. All right, no sign of Christ. No sign of Christ. Okay. All right, let me put this on here. All right, looks Tawab. All right, shalom to Kayala, Yahweh Shema, Alatha, Basham Yahushai. Shalom to, I see somebody named Kojo. Shalom, Yahweh Shema, Yahweh Basham Yahushai. I'll just say Lord in Christ. Can't tell whether your brother or sister, so Salaki if I did the wrong salute. All right. So we're about to get into today's topic. All right. Oh, good night. We already got the first go home. We already got the first, some just upset oppressor, just mad at his own inadequacies that, he needs to go on TikTok and just tell black people to go home or tell anybody who's not British to go home. All right. No problem. No problem. Well, today's topic, we're going to talk about why that's not exactly just a solution. It's not exactly just a solution to quote unquote go home. All right, that's what we're going to be talking about in today's show. For anybody who doesn't might be new to the show or new to the page, this is a show I do on TikTok live every Sunday at 2 p.m. It's called Real Time Revelations. It's where I go through relevant topics, things that are ongoing in the news, things that are ongoing in social media. And we talk about those things. All right. This is a interactive show as well. So if anybody wants to come onto the show, explain to me why it is that I should go home, or if you want to debate any topic or discuss any topic, if you have anything that you want to challenge, by all means, come on the show and we'll talk about it. All right. I've got it back to I'm having to manually accept requests because TikTok doesn't know how to act. That's straight up and down. TikTok cannot behave. There's no decorum. So I'm just gonna have to manually add, people as they request in. All right, but real quick before we get into, let me grab the link from the live and just share it on our Facebook. All right. As you come in, make sure you like the show. Like the page, comment your thoughts, comment even topics you want to see going forward or any discussions that you want to add to the conversation, and follow the page. All right, make sure you do those things. So let me see here. I'm on the right page. If I go to live, here we go. I see it. Let me just grab this link, and then we'll share this here. All right. In the meantime, I hope everyone's doing Tawab. Hope you all enjoying the weekend. Enjoying a little piece of sun. I just had a barbecue the other day. Just had a barbecue with the family. Had a nice little time, little time with the family. So I hope y'all is having a good time. Even in this oppression, even in this kingdom, black people still find a way to have joy, to experience joy, to laugh, to joke, to play music. If there was any other race of people that were going through the things that we going through, they wouldn't be able to survive what we go through. They don't have that same resilience. But our people are the most resilient people on the face of the earth. All right. And that's why that's almost why you as a so-called white person don't. One of the reasons is you just don't care. You don't care about our oppression, so why would you care to see it? Why would you care to look into it? But another thing, because you think that because we're so upbeat, because we're so happy, we can still find joy, that you think there is no oppression. You think racism ended somewhere in the 1900s or something. Good night. Kojo said we only survive by the will of the Most High. And that's facts. I mean, the amount of times that they have tried to unalive us en masse, let's put it that way. The amount of times they have tried to wipe out black people. I mean, good night. You think that, you know what I'm saying, the what happened to a certain group of people in Germany was bad. Do the research on what these people have tried to do to black people throughout slavery, throughout colonization. You think what happened to those people is bad. Look into what happened to us if you care to do so. The Bible says, who shall go aside to ask how thou doest? Who cares and really checks for black people? Like, imagine there's so many causes that we go out and fight for. We fight for, even when we came over in the early, the early like 1980s, or something along those lines, or with the Windrush and things like that. We came over and we were oppressed. Then other people started coming over and we were fighting for the rights we fought for and gained the rights that other nations come here and enjoy today. But who, you know what I'm saying, cares to look at the fight that we fought? Like, they didn't even down there fight for themselves, barely. We fought for all the rights that all these other nations come over here and enjoy. And then they come over here and look down on us. I mean, it's absolutely diabolical. The propaganda that has been pushed out and just the hatred towards black people. Like, wherever we go, we are hated. You know what I'm saying? All right. And again, this is an interactive show. So if there's anybody that wants to come over here, if you think I'm just chatting nonsense or you think I'm just, just going off on one, then by all means join the live and we can talk about it. All right. Now let me just share let me see, my title for today. Jamaicans banned from their own beaches. I know this is a topic I came across on social media. It seems to have been picking up traction recently, but this has been an ongoing issue for a long while. This has been an ongoing issue in Jamaica, not only Jamaica, but all across the Caribbean. It's been ongoing for a long time. You know what I'm saying? And we about to get into it, about to talk about it for anybody who does not know what's going on. All right. Coco said, imagine anywhere we reside, life is sustained for our sakes. It's deep. Yeah, exactly. Like anywhere where you find blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, they've tried to wipe you out, but they cannot. We reside in the four corners of the face of the earth because we were scattered, and they have tried at so many turns to commit what is it, like eugenics and genocide, but they cannot succeed. They cannot succeed because this earth was made for our sakes. All right. Somebody in the comments says, "Are you a Christian?" I'm not a Christian. I'm not a Christian. We believe in the Bible, but we are not Christians. All right. So, and again, I can't spend too much time checking the comments, but if anyone wants to come up, request on the live, if anyone wants to request on the live and have a conversation or a debate, just request the live. All right. But I'm going to get into my topic. So, and I came across a couple videos about this, right? Let me get this one first. I may play another one that's similar and goes more into the reasons or the things that are in place, the laws that are in place that allows these things to happen. All right. So somebody said, do I support Palestine? I support neither Palestine nor Israel. It's not our fight. What I support is blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. That's who I support. I support the lost sheep of the house of Israel. That's who I support. I don't support the Jewish man, those Europeans, you know what I'm saying, the so-called Israelis, or the Palestinians. That's your fight. You know what I'm saying? That's between them people. All right, so let me play this video. Turn my brightness up real quick.
We are a beach community. We are beach people. We're a small island surrounded by water.
Jamaicans can no longer access their own beaches.
This is where they work. Say they don't have a other job. They don't have nothing else to turn to.
Tourists can pay for exclusive access to beaches at all-inclusive resorts, but everyday Jamaicans are increasingly being blocked out of them.
When you push a fisherman from a beach, where did you want him to go? We are living in between waters, and we have no access to a beach.
Some Jamaicans are organizing to take down the colonial-era land laws that still affect them today.
Jamaican came into emancipation landless and homeless, and that problem have not changed in Jamaica.
And they're suing companies for cutting off their access to the beaches.
And we also will not stop until the entire Jamaican public is able to access the beach freely.
Right. So the Jamaican public, the residents of Jamaica. Now, Jamaica is an island surrounded by water. It's a small island surrounded by water. It's a lot of beaches in Jamaica. The entire coastline of Jamaica. But Jamaicans can't access their own beaches. It's like less than 1% of Jamaica's beaches that the public are able to access, which is crazy to me. The same Jamaica that everybody goes on holiday to, goes on the beach, enjoys the sand, enjoys, you know what I'm saying, this beautiful tropical island. But the Jamaican residents are essentially landlocked. The Jamaican residents can't even access their own beaches throughout damn near the entire island. It's like 0.6% of the beaches in Jamaica are able to be accessed by the public, which is crazy to me. It's absolutely crazy. I also shalom to Kwame Sha'ala. I seen somebody in here say, why do IUIC accept Hamites? I don't know why they accept Hamites. I don't know why those fake Israelites accept Hamites. It's likely because they're just money hungry, I don't know why they accept Hamites. I could not tell you. I could not get in the mind of somebody of IUIC, because if I did, I mean, I'd just go crazy. I don't know why they do that I don't know why they mess around with them funky folks. I don't know. Couldn't tell you. All right. What I can tell you is they allowed Hamites in that group. They allowed so-called Native Africans in that group, and got one of our sisters, a sister actually from London, a sister from the UK, got unalived in that group, in that fake Israelite group. So why don't you go ask them why they accept Hamites? You should go and ask them why they do that. Because we don't accept Hamites up in here. We don't allow no Africans, no East Indians. I seen videos where these purple homosexuals, I gotta be careful, we on TikTok. These purple individuals go into, what was it? It was Pakistan or India to go find the lost Israelites in Pakistan. I don't understand it. It seemed like to me, it just seemed like they just want money. They want that tithe money, and the tithe money from the brothers and sisters ain't quite cutting it. So what do? You just open up the gates to everybody. Oh, well, now these Africans, they're also Israelites. Oh, there's also some Israelites in Pakistan. And let's go teach all them Pakistanis that they're also Israelites. It just seems like it's for money for me. That's all it is. They're about money and numbers and having just a big group. It's like the Christian church. This Christian church, or the Catholic church, where even the word Catholic means all embracing. That's what the IUIC is. They're all embracing. That's all that is. They're just another Christian church. That's all. All right. Let me get who else we had in here. I want to see if I missed any questions. Someone Somebody said that headband makes you look GA. I'm assuming they omitted the Y. I don't understand how this headband would make me look homosexual. There's nothing about this headband. I think that might just be your own thoughts there. What's his name here? Cracker Jack Magoo. Yeah, that seems like something a Cracker Jack would think about. A Cracker Jack would see a black man and somehow a headband makes me look gay. I think you may just be homosexual, Cracker Jack. I think that might just be the case. All right. I don't know what would make you think that. All right. So, and again, let me check the requests. All right. There's no request yet. All right. So let me carry on. All right. So, all right. So Jamaica is essentially landlocked, right? And the reason is, and this goes back to a colonial era. This goes back to colonization. So when all these British people, let's call them that, when all these Europeans tell you to go, if you don't like it here, go back to your country. Yet, whether we're in the UK, whether we're in Jamaica, which isn't our country, it's just a country where we were brought and enslaved. And to this day, we are oppressed in Jamaica. You say they gave Jamaica independence. But I mean, what does that really mean? And Jamaica itself, the beaches are damn near owned by, all these private, they're owned by Europeans, British, American, Canadian, what I'm saying? Even the Asians and the Chinese have built major highways in Jamaica. And now to drive in Jamaica, you have to pay tolls. To go to a beach in Jamaica, you have to pay some other nation to access something that's in your own land. That's what's supposed to be your own land. So when all these racists will say, if you don't like it here, go back to your own country, we can't go back to our own country. Our actual own country is Jerusalem, is Israel. That's where our country is. But our country is occupied by an imposter who claims to be the Jews. And whether we go, even if we today was to go back to the land of Israel, it isn't owned by us. We are a people that don't actually own anything. Like every other race of people has their own land, their own countries, their own military, their own culture. We don't have that as a race of people. You know what I'm saying? And let me read up on the reason why Jamaican residents have restricted access to their own beaches. All right. It says Jamaicans have restricted access to much of their coastline due to a colonial era law, the heavy privatization of beachfront land by foreign resorts, and a lack of inherent public right to the shore. So there was an act in 1959, going back to the colonial era. It says, passed before independence, this legislation vests control of the foreshore in the state and private landowners, meaning that citizens have no automatic legal right to cross private land or use beaches without permission or license. So all these, all these private landowners, which are not the residents of Jamaica, but other countries or other nations of people who come to Jamaica and buy out our land, come to Jamaica and buy out, very valuable land on the coast and set up their, major resorts or, big resorts and private land and, big housing complexes. And then they privatize the coast. They privatize the beach and make it so that you either have to be a guest of the hotel or resort, you either have to be a guest there, or you have to pay a fee to access your own coastline. You have to pay some other nation of people to access the coastline in your country, the same way you have to pay some other race of people to access roads in your own, quote unquote, your own country. So no matter where it is that you find the lost sheep of the house of Israel, no matter where it is that you find, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, we are still oppressed. We are still oppressed. And this is not something that just impacts Jamaica. It impacts a bunch of islands in the Caribbean. Barbuda. It impacts Puerto Rico, which is a U.S. territory. It impacts St. Lucia, Grenada. It impacts, let me get some more. It impacts as well. There's this other one. Bahamas. It's another place that impacts. It's the other ones that were in my list. Yeah, Barbuda, St. Lucia, Antigua, Grenada, Puerto Rico again, and the Bahamas. So many of these countries. Shauna just put in here Martinique. There's Martinique. That I know a brother in the I.S.U.P.K. from Martinique and Guadeloupe. All these countries which are owned by the crown. They're part of the British Commonwealth. They were enslaved or colonized by the British. And to this day, in those countries, we're oppressed. To this day, in those countries, we don't have the same rights as any oppressor or European could walk in the country and has more rights than us in a country that's quote unquote ours and quote unquote independent. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. Matter of fact, let me get this other video, which goes into a bit more detail on it. Let me find this video here.
I need my beach. Without my beach, I cannot walk. This is what helped me to walk on my legs.
Over the past year, I've been investigating why so many Jamaicans say they can't step foot on their own beach.
I'm not accessing the hotel of the It's just the beach with them.
Jamaica for Jamaicans, or is Jamaica for the Canadians and the Americans and the Europeans? Who is Jamaica for?
Friends tried to access the blue lagoon very early in the morning, and they were greeted by police with guns.
The shocking statistic.
So imagine, as a Jamaican resident, you're trying to access your own coastline, trying to access your own beach, your own coastline, and you were met by police with guns. But you seeing all these tourists, all these foreigners, all these, you know what I'm saying, what they say on social media, palm-colored people. All these, YT people. And they are enjoying their time. They're enjoying your beach. But you can't. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Let's play on.
1% of beaches on the island are free and accessible for locals.
It's less than 1%.
Jamaicans are landlocked in their own country.
Fences all the way from the land, all the way into the water. You can't say you're a fisherman if you don't have a beach.
I was a beach baby, I was a seawater baby.
First, I thought these were isolated incidents, but as I travelled around the island from Bob Marley Beach in Bull Bay to Port Osiko and Montego Bay, I realised that this is a conversation happening almost everywhere.
The government doesn't look after the people properly. It looks after big business, overseas hotel owners, and private individuals.
They don't
I'll tell you what the government looks after. The government looks after him.
Looks after big business.
This is who the government looks after. The Jamaican government. It's a brother in Jamaica. He was the prime minister. But his mindset isn't to care for and protect and make sure the people of Jamaica are the first priority. His priority is money, and all those people who are going to buy land, put money in his pocket, and steal it from and take it from the residents of Jamaica. Allow them to get it, and then he gets a cut from that. That's what we call a sellout. And these are the leaders that we have. These are the so-called leaders that we have over these countries that we reside in. Just money, again, money hungry politicians. You can't have no leader, no righteous leader that doesn't keep these law, statutes, and commandments. The law, statutes, and commandments of God. And that's why the only man fit to lead the nation of Israel, the only man fit to lead so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans today in this earth, the highest ranking man in this earth today is Commanding General Yahanna. That is a man that is fit to lead black people. That is a man that if you gave Commanding General Yahanna a country and allowed him to run it, and allowed the I.S.U.P.K, if you just gave us a part to be separate from our oppressor and left us alone, didn't interfere with it, didn't try buy our land, didn't try, come in and bomb our cities, didn't try burn them down. If you allowed that and didn't interfere, it would be the most thriving city or country on the face of the earth. But you don't allow that. You call us a hate group for loving our people. I'm about to play on.
Look after people properly. It looks after big business, overseas hotel owners, and private individuals.
They don't understand what it means to love your country before self.
So the people know to rise up and defend what is their own.
They say decades of tourism development, private investment, and colonial laws have made it harder for ordinary Jamaicans to get to the sea. But that's only one side of the story. I also spoke to people who say private investment has transformed the beaches that had fallen into disrepair.
This conversation about free beaches, I think it's kind of old.
I also sat down with Sadella Marley.
And he would say it's kind of old because this privatization of the beaches has been going on for like the past 7 decades, for about 70 years. And a lot of times what happens, and especially like off the back of natural disasters like Hurricane Melissa, where the land is flooded, or some natural disaster happens, and then come big business, then comes Mr. Checkbook and buys a whole area of land for cheap because Jamaica's going through a natural disaster. They need help with repair. They need money. We need money from somewhere. So we can barely get anything from what's his face, from King Charles or from Britain, which Britain is supposed to look after the Commonwealth, supposed to look after islands like Jamaica. And when we go through natural disasters, like say for example, how much was it they gave to Ukraine and things like that in the war? I think it was, when I went over that story, it was something like 80 million. It's like 80 million, or it might have been a couple hundred million. No, it was in the billions. It was in the billions. It was like, I'm trying to recall the figure now. It was in the billions. It might have been 4. But they gave, let me look this up real quick. Let me look this figure up. How much has Britain gave in aid to Ukraine? Here we go. The UK has committed a total of 25 billion in support to Ukraine since 2022. It says it gave up to 5.6. There we go. This was the figure I recall. 5.6 billion in non-military and economic assistance. So your non-military aid, like your, food and water and infrastructure, things that are non-military. The rest is military aid. Okay, so you give 5.6 billion to support Ukraine since 2022. That's just since the Russian invasion. But to Jamaica, which suffered a natural disaster, and I don't know if you know how much infrastructure costs to repair and rebuild, you gave 5.6 billion to Ukraine for non-military economic assistance, infrastructure, that sort of thing. You gave only 2.5 million to Jamaica after Hurricane Melissa. Like that amount is just, I mean, it's ridiculous. It's barely about enough to repair like one school, to fully rebuild that. Maybe a school or two, maybe one school and one hospital. You could make that 2.5 stretch, but in the grand scheme of things, the damage to roads, buildings, infrastructure, like that is nothing. And so, when you get an incident like Hurricane Melissa, you get that Jamaica ain't really getting no support from anywhere. Ain't getting no real support from Britain, who's supposed to look after its Commonwealth. And you end up with land getting sold for cheap. I seen another video where some oppressor woman bought 22 acres of land in Jamaica, and they're able to get that land for cheap. And then they turn around, and the amount of money that they turn around and make off that land is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Like, when it comes down to it, the amount you got for the land was pennies. Like, these people think decades ahead. These people know how to make some money. I'll tell you that much. These are the races. They know how to cut a deal, and just, once they get into a land, bleed it dry. Matter of fact, that's what happened with I was looking through and looking at other countries that have been impacted by something like that. There was another one, I believe it was either Barbados or what was the other one, or the Bahamas. Let me try and find this again. Here in Barbuda, it says Barbuda historically operated under a unique 200-year-old communal land system where all land was owned collectively by the island citizens. Following the devastation of Hurricane Irma in 2017, the central government altered these laws by passing the Paradise Found Act to allow private land leases. And now you have all these high-end mega resorts and all these projects backed by billionaires and Hollywood celebrities, and they fence off coastlines. And fencing off a coastline, I don't think is just for, people who want to go out to the beach and have fun and just play in the sand. This is also major business for fishermen. You're having a major impact on the economy. People who have been fishermen for years, now all of a sudden, you don't have access to the beach. Maybe the nearest publicly owned beach or public access beach is miles away from you, because the Jamaican government went and sold. These other nations went and struck a deal and bought out that land. And now we're kicking you out. Land that is your birthright. It should be your birthright. If Jamaica belongs to the Jamaicans, then let it belong to the Jamaicans. So I always find it funny how all these racist YT people just come along and say, go back to your own country. If you don't like it here, go back to your own country. Not understanding the impact that Britain has had on those very countries, and how you've made it damn near unlivable to be there. The impact you've had, that it is the reason why so many people moving out of that country and coming to England for opportunity, for this, for that, to escape from war. It's if like in the case of Afghanistan, when some Afghanis sided with the British against the Taliban. But you're not understanding the impacts mainly of the colonial, because obviously with that whole Taliban thing, that's their choice. They sided with the British. They're fleeing from persecution from the Taliban, or you know what I'm saying, what's the word? Retaliation. But in the case of like Jamaica and the Caribbean islands, you don't understand the impact that colonialism has had on the land and on the people. You don't understand the impact that slavery has had on the land and on the people. And we walk around saying, you know, one love, and what's Jamaica's slogan is like, out of many, one people. We haven't been taught Christianity. We believe that we're all one, and we're all about love and forgiveness, just like black people all over the world. We've been oppressed and enslaved and abused and exploited, but we're forgiving. We're compassionate. We're merciful. So we don't hold it against them. It's just a few bad apples and, you know, so on and so forth. But these are the races, they don't think like that. These are the races. If there's one Muslim grooming gang, then all Muslims, all you know, even if you're Sikh, if you look Muslim to them in their ignorance, then you're all PDF files. You're all grooming gangs. You're all this. You're all bad. You all need to go home. They think like that. I mean, good night. Somebody said y'all are the real racist. I mean, every nation on the earth is quote unquote racist. The word racist means really to prefer your own people. It means to prefer your own, and then you have like prejudice or discrimination where you discriminate against other races. That's another thing. But racism really is just preferring your own race, having a preference or feeling as though your race is superior. And every race has that. The East Indians, they prefer their own race. They think that East Indians are superior. YT people, they prefer their own race and they think that white people are superior. Matter of fact, we're the only people, like black people as a collective, blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, that don't have this idea that we don't prefer our own. And we don't think that we're superior. We look up to that white man in the Christian church, or we look up to Allah in that Muslim mosque. We look up to Muhammad and them Arabs. We look up to Rastafari and some Ethiopian in the Rastafarian movement. We are the only people who aren't racist. Now, when we in the I.S.U.P.K. come along and we say, hold on, every other race of people love their own. You look at Chinatown. Chinatown ain't full of multiculturalism. Matter of fact, that leads me on to my next video. Let me play this next video, then I'm going to carry on. Again, if anyone wants to request, I see y'all type in the comments, but if anyone wants to request to join, request to join. All right, let's get this video here.
That's what they're doing at the moment, all of them influencer. That's what I'm telling you. Yes, my people. Soldiers, we can't have nothing, yeah? Not one of us in there, you know?
Now, you'll have to forgive the noise. It's real loud in there. Now, I recognize this. This is in the Trafford Centre in Manchester. This is in Trafford Centre in Manchester, and there's a Jerk Junction, which is a black-owned, Caribbean-owned Jamaican business. And Jerk Junction, they made it in Trafford Centre, which is a good thing. But this sister went there and pointed out, when she turned the camera, and I've been there and looked in, it's nothing but East Indians. There's nothing but East Indians behind the counter or cooking the food. There isn't a single Caribbean person. Not a single Jamaican person in Jack Junction. And so she's there and she's pointing it out, like, we can't have anything to our own. And why is that? Because we're the people who aren't racist. We're the people who don't have that sense of loyalty to their own race. That sense that I'm going to prefer my people over everybody else. You look at, imagine there was a Indian restaurant and they sold authentic Indian food. I see someone in the comments said, who cares? You clearly don't. I do, because this affects my people. So I care. That's who cares. I know you don't, because you've never given a damn about black people. No other race has ever given a damn about black people. I know you don't care, but I care. Now, you look into, if there was some restaurant that sold authentic Indian food, and you looked in there, you would not see like everybody in there being white or everybody in there being from the Caribbean. You would think, well, hold on, this ain't this ain't authentic Indian food. When you go to Chinatown, the people who work in those stores are all Asian, all Chinese. You go to people places which are ran by like East Indians, like Chia Mill. You go there and you don't see multiculturalism, which is what this other sister, this Lola, who I'm assuming either owns Junction or maybe has been a manager or something. All right. Matter of fact, hold on. We have a guest who's requested. All right. Let me add him on. All right. We got Nathan. Nathan, what is your? I'm assuming your name's Nathan. Is that right?
Yes.
All right. Where were you from, Nathan? And what have you got to add to the conversation?
What, like ethnically or nationality or like where?
I mean, ethnically. We'll start with ethnically, and then like, are you in the UK? Where are you located?
I'm ethnically Indian, and then I live in the UK. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Ethnically Indian from the UK. Go ahead, Nathan. What you got?
So I was just asking because I heard you guys say that Native Americans are your people and stuff. So, but like I know you guys came from like were in Africa and then you came over. But I'm just like curious, like how you guys are linked with Native Americans, because I learned about Native American history. So I'm just curious, like how are your people linked with Native Americans? It's a bit off topic, but I've always wanted to know because I like watching you guys. Even though I know I'm not your people, but like I just like understanding like about religion and like your people.
I
So yeah,
understand.
yeah.
I
So I just want to know
understand.
like how you guys link, because I don't see how people that were native like to the American lands like thousands and maybe millions of years, like Native Americans are linked to your people. When you guys like how are you guys linked and weren't the same people if you guys were? Yeah, that's it basically. I'm just repeating
I
myself.
understand your question. So you want to know how
Thank
we are
you.
linked to the Native Americans, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
also, like we say, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Like we'd also be linked to the so-called Mexicans, so-called Puerto Ricans, Dominicans. We'd also be linked to those people. And you say, how are we linked? Because you say we're from Africa, and you know that we're from Africa. Well, that's the history that you were taught. But the actual history, like black people who were enslaved, black people who came over and were, transported in the transatlantic slave trade, are not natively African. Or if we're talking biblically, we're not Hamites. Like if you look at a biblical dictionary and you go to Ham in the Bible, it says Ham is the progenitor of the dark races, but not the Negroes. It's not the so-called African Americans or those of the Caribbean. Us and Africans are not the same people. We fled into Africa when we were fleeing Roman persecution. When this was 70 AD, when Titus brought an end to the Jewish state, and we fled into Africa because we were fleeing from white people, and we thought we could hide among a people who were also dark skinned, right? But those people could tell the difference. Like imagine you have Israelites who have a completely different culture, and then en masse we flock into somewhere like Nigeria or Ghana, and they have a completely different culture. They know who is who. They know who is them, and they know who isn't them. So when the white man came over, they made a deal with him, and they sold us to the Europeans. Like a lot of the history, they have you think that black people sold African or Africans sold Africans. That's not the case. It was one tribe of people, the so-called Hamites, sold the children of Israel. You can read in books like Babylon to Timbuktu, where it says the slave markets were full of black Jewish slaves. Like they know that the people that they enslaved are not African. They're Israelites. They're the Jews, right? So we are the people of the transatlantic slave trade, the so-called like African Americans and those of the Caribbean. We would be the Jews. Now, also say like the Native Americans and the the Hispanics, like the Arawaks, the Tainos, the Mayans, these are people that the so-called Mexicans and Puerto Ricans and Dominicans, the Hispanics today, descend from those people. Like even in Jamaica, the I think it was the Tainos that were in Jamaica first. Like they were the northern kingdom of Israel, right? So you have Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, which is your southern tribe, your southern kingdom. Then you have the northern kingdom, which is Ephraim, Manasseh, Simeon, Naphtali, so on and so forth. The northern tribe at that time were divided from Israel. So it's like you had the Jews in the land in Jerusalem, your Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. We were just colloquially called the Jews because Judah was the head tribe. Then you had the northern kingdom who actually were cut off at a time, and they moved to places like America. That time was called Osiris. They moved to America and the Caribbean islands, and they dwelled there. And then the Europeans came over and went and enslaved them also, went and colonized them and took their land, and now they own America, and they enslaved people in the Caribbean islands. But basically, the link is that we all descend from the 12 tribes of Israel. We are all the same people. All right. Even go ahead.
Yeah, so I kind of get it, but like I'm still a bit confused. So you're saying that you guys fled into like Africa to flee like Roman persecution and stuff, but like then were the Native Americans with you before that, or like what happened? Like how did you guys split up? Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, so there was a time where the Northern Kingdom was breaking the laws of God, and so they got cast off. Like if you broke God's laws in this time, you would be cast off. And so you was divided. You was called like a Gentile. So they was cut off from being a Jew or like an Israelite, and then they would have moved to other lands. So like at that time they would have moved. This would have been before we fled into Jerusalem. So before that, the Northern Kingdom was divided and moved to lands like what's known as the Americas today and the Caribbean today. And then as we're going on, as we're carrying on living in the land of Israel in Jerusalem, and then we start sinning. We start sinning, and then the Most High removes His protection from us and allows us to be enslaved by the Romans and the Greeks, and eventually they took that land over, and we had to go. We had to run too.
Wait, so when did they get removed, class? Because I thought like Native Americans were there for like millions of years, or like the indigenous people there. So like, if you guys were in Israel together, like when did they get removed? Because if like when did they get removed and when were they there? Yeah.
I don't know the specific timeline of when when the Northern Kingdom originally moved to like America and the Caribbeans. I don't know the specific timeline.
Is that an estimate?
I'm not sure. It would have been like, I mean, like we fled from Jerusalem in 70 AD. So it would have been before any even AD. It would have been I don't really know the
No, I'm
direct.
not asking like specific. I was just curious, like how. Yeah.
No, I understand. Yeah, but it would have been a good bit before what's it called? 70 AD.
So you're saying the Native Americans fled? Wait, so like how did they get removed there? So like how did they ended up getting from
They would have traveled to the Americas on ships. And like
by who? By themselves or?
Yeah, by themselves. And you could even look at in the history, the Native Americans knew that they were Israelites. And you can find that they actually spoke Hebrew. Right? And when what's it called? Columbus went over there, the Native Americans, so-called Native Americans, was speaking Hebrew. and they knew they were Israelites, and they kept some traditions from being Israelites, but obviously because they had went off, and they were keeping some customs of the
Okay.
heathens or the Gentiles.
Yeah, because I heard some like customs where they like they like sacrifice themselves. I don't know. I learned that a while ago, but like, yeah.
Yeah,
I have
so
one.
they wouldn't have all the way been keeping the laws to
Yeah,
the
I get that. I get that. Yeah.
fullest, but they knew that they were Israelites.
I have one more question. If you think
All
you've
right,
already
go
answered that question, I have one more question after that.
ahead.
So I know you have 12 tribes of Israel, and you ascribe them to like different people, like maybe like the African Americans or whatever you call them, yeah, and then the Jamaicans and Haitians and stuff. I'm just curious, like, how do you ascribe them individually, like with like that uncertainty? For example, Haitians, like, how do you ascribe them to like whatever tribe you do, like so, like specifically, like how, like from the
I
Bible and like
understand.
outside, yeah, like
Yeah,
specifically, like yeah,
yeah, I understand. Like, how do you know this people is Judah, this people is
yeah,
Benjamin?
yeah, yeah. That's it. That's
Yeah, I
exactly it. Yeah.
understand the question. So, I mean, we understand the different tribes through biblical prophecy. There's a captain in our school, Captain Katazar, who did a 12 tribes chart breakdown. You can find it on YouTube. You can find it on their channel, Cross the Line Radio. You can look for the 12 tribes chart breakdown, and it will break down how you get each individual tribe and how it links up with prophecy. You look at the biblicals and the descriptions of how these people would act or what would happen to them. And then that's how we decipher. Now, it's not like an exact science. Like, you could have a so-called African American who's living in the Caribbean, right? So, but it's generally the majority of those people, the majority of so-called African Americans would be your Judites. The majority of people of the Caribbean would be your Benjamites. Majority of Haitians, so on and so forth, right? So that's how we get the breakdown. It's through biblical prophecy, and then also studying the history and archaeology of these of things that we found of these individual tribes. And if you want a thorough, like, a breakdown on it, the best thing to do is find that video. Let me find it here for you as well. Matter of fact, I go to Cross the Line Radio, which is hosted by Captain Tazariak and Captain Katazar. And then you search for it. I believe you can search within a channel. How do I know to do this? Might be in a playlist too. Let me look up Cross the Line 12. There we go. 12 tribes chart. You can find, now it's going to be a couple hours long, but if, as you said, you were interested in the research and wanted to know how we link, you can find that breakdown on YouTube. All right, you got here a bunch of videos on it, the Q&A. You got here a 12 tribes chart breakdown, Across the Line Radio.
Yeah. Okay. I might check that out. Yeah.
All right, no sweats. You can check that out. You can understand the link and how to decipher. There's even shorter videos if you want a quicker, you know what I'm saying? There's a Q&A. There's all types of stuff on it.
I actually have a one more. Like I think it's probably the last one. A very small question. So
All right,
it's
go ahead.
so like I don't want to be racist, but like I know like there was lots of like raping from like white people to like black people. Like white men would rape like lots of black women and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Like
if you could
yeah.
just because we're on TikTok, that word, I don't know, it seems to flag. So if you could just say SA for sexual assault,
Oh, okay.
or I think grape is a one people say. Either of those is fine.
Yeah.
So I
Don't.
understand your
It's
question.
actually more about I don't want to offend you or anything like that. But yeah.
No sweat. You're
Yeah.
good to go.
Yeah.
I'm very hard to offend. I'm very.
Okay. Yeah. So just wondering, so like if there's lots of like graping going on, like how can you like distinguish between who's really an Israelite and who's not? Because let's say like your someone's like grandpa is like white, yeah, but then that grandpa raped like a black woman, and then the production of that is obviously like mixed sort of thing. Then if that mixed person had married and then produced with another black person, but then if you tracked back like after maybe 2-3 generations, like you can't the white DNA is still there. So like how could you be able to distinguish between who's an Israelite in that situation? Because I know you guys trace it back to the father, so I was just like wondering like how can you, but you can't really trace it back if like if let's say that there's one mix from the father after 3 generations, but like if there's keep on mixing between black, like you can't tell the difference. Like How can that's basically it, yeah.
I understand your question. So you're basically saying, how do we know that we're Israelites? Because somewhere along the line, somebody could have essayed somebody, and then the children from that would have, you say, like mixed. Right now, in the Bible, there is no real such thing as mixed in that sense. Like in terms of your ethnicity or your race, who you are according to the Bible, your nationality, you would be who your father is. So, like, I get your point. Say if some Edomite, some oppressor, some European, sexually assaults one of our sisters, and has a child, those child would be Edomites. Those child, their nationality would be Edomites. Now, in terms of how we know, that's really a small minority, and not every case of sexual assault would have resulted in a baby. But of those that would, you also have to factor in that if those children are also in our midst, that those type of things get like cycled out. Like say if you have a what's the word? A white man assaults a woman and gives birth to a son. Now, if that son has any children, then obviously those children are also Edomites. But if they also give the birth to a daughter, and that daughter lays down with a brother, with an Israelite, then the children from that are Israelites. So if you would have understood, obviously, they would have still been like they wouldn't have just gone along with the white family. They would still been with us, and that would eventually have gotten bred out in the sense. Now, ultimately, like if there is a chance, there's a possibility that somewhere along the line your it just so happens that your great 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 grandfather is a white man, and it was never bred out. There was never a black man that was put back in that genealogy that had a child and then eventually gained you. Now, in the Bible says, strive not with endless genealogies. So you would go back as far as you can go back. And if as far as you can go back, your father and your father's father and father's father's father is a so-called black man or a so-called Hispanic, like the Afro-Latinos or Native American, as far as you can go back, then between that and assessing the spirit, you would know that you're an Israelite. Like you're not supposed to strive and be like, oh, but what if somewhere along the line my great 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 grandfather is a slave master who SA'd somebody. You go back as far as you can go back.
Then, like, if that was the case, like your great 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 grandfather was uh sexual assaulted someone, so then would that person be considered an Israelite then, or?
Well, it would also depend on which side also. Like if it's on your father's side consistently, then that person wouldn't be an Israelite. If somehow it was never bred out, and the child of that was always been a male child, and always given birth to a male child, and somehow you come from that stock. If you can trace that back, then you wouldn't be an Israelite. You are who your father is.
But
But
then, like, somebody if that person joined your school, then they're just there, and they're like a non-Israelite in your school, basically. Like there could be potentially one person or something like that. Surely, like, if there's thousands of people in your school, yeah.
I mean, I get your point, but again, we don't strive with endless genealogies. And if somebody like that was in our school, 9 times out of 10, their spirit wouldn't
Yeah, I get.
if
I
it
thought
was
he
to
was gonna say
take
that. Yeah,
they
yeah,
wouldn't last very long. It wouldn't
yeah. I
last
get
very
you.
long. Eventually they get spewed out. Now if ultimately by some some I don't know, some odd chance, like you have to look at the probabilities. Some odd chance that there's somebody in our school whose nationality is an Edomite, and he didn't know, and this, that, and the third. I mean, when Christ comes back, Christ would just separate the sheeps from the folds, and that's it. He would just find out on that day that Salaki, you're not one of us. But it's very unlikely. We do rigorous like training and searches, and it just doesn't
Yeah, I
happen.
guess. Yeah, I understand your answers, and I think the fact that you said Christ will come I think that's a good answer. Yeah. Thank you.
No
Thank you
problem.
for your
No
time.
sweat.
Yeah.
No sweat. It's
Thank you
been a
so
good
much.
conversation, Nathan. All right, take it
Yeah.
easy.
Thank you so much. Hopefully see you
No
soon.
problem. All right, take care. All right, cool. So, where we was at? We was just reading. We was in the middle of watching this video. All right, let's finish off watching this video. Is it going to a different one? Grab this video again.
That's what they're doing at the moment, all of them influencer. That's what I'm telling you. Yes, my people. Told if you don't have nothing, yeah? Not one of us in there, you know? The jerk chicken got colonization. A bit thick and shit.
Now this sister gonna make this trying to pause the shit. This woman gonna make fun of this sister. Now the sister said the jerk chicken got colonization, which would have meant to say it got colonized, right? Even Jerk Junction, which is supposed to be a Caribbean spot, a Jamaican spot, is nothing but East Indians was in that shop. Even when you go to, like, there's a Jerk Junction in Manchester where I'm at, not too far. I go in there. It's like East Indians, I believe. I think I see some Africans in there too. Like, we as people from the Caribbean, and I've seen that many times, where you go to a Jamaican shop or a Jamaican restaurant and it's not run by Jamaicans, or it's not, the Jamaicans aren't the people behind the counters, aren't the people cooking the food. Or the racists get up in our stores. But as I was saying earlier, if you go into a Chinese restaurant, you're not seeing black people up in there. You're not even seeing white people up in there. You're seeing Chinese people. You're seeing Asian people. If you go to an East Indian shop or East Indian restaurant, you're seeing East Indian people. And so this sister is gonna make fun of the other sister, saying she's a bit thick, which I completely disagree with. I mean, this sister sees it for what it really is. Like, you see other nations, they can have their own thing. And you see them running their shops. You see them hiring their own people. But whenever it's our thing is just, it always has what this sister is going to call multiculturalism. So let me play this video further.
For 20 years. And black owned as well. Nobody else owned it. We've got to give everybody a chance to work. No matter what religion, what creed, where you come from. We're supposed to be multiracial. So we stop all this nonsense in this world today.
Hold on, let me run it back further. I think I missed a key part, right? Hold on, let me go back to where it flips back.
This young lady, we live in a multiracial country now, junction for 20 years. And black owned as well. Nobody else owned it. We've got to give everybody a chance to work. No matter what religion, what creed, where you come from. We're supposed to be multiracial. So we stop all this nonsense in this world today.
So now she says, well, we live in a multiracial country, and we're supposed to be multiracial to stop all this nonsense that's happening today. But again, this seems to only take effect with our people. Like, you don't see and again, she said multiracial. Multiracial means multiple races. In the whole shop, it was just East Indians. It's just Pakistanis or whatever. Like, it ain't a single Caribbean person in there. And it's a Caribbean business. Jerk Junction. It's Caribbean cuisine. It's Caribbean food. But in the whole shop, not a single Caribbean person is in there. Now, that's not exactly the same as multiracial. Now, if it was majority Jamaican people, and, one or two, this, that, and the third, one or two Indian or some white person in there, or some African, one or two in there, in them shops, then that's one thing. But it's a completely different thing where they've taken over the whole shop. There's not a single Caribbean person in there. in a Caribbean restaurant. And that's what happened with our business. I seen another shop down the road. It's called Jamaican something. It says like Jamaican on the top banner. It's a Jamaican shop selling Jamaican goods. You go in there, there's not a single Jamaican person in there. It's just East Indians. And this is what happens with our business. As the other sister said in the video, we can't have anything that's our own. And it's frustrating as a Jamaican person or as a Caribbean person seeing this thing happen. And it only seems to happen with you. Now, aside from her answer, this Lola person, saying, oh, we're supposed to be multiracial and this, that, and the third. Again, that's not multiracial. That's a takeover. That's not multiracial. That is uniracial. And the race is not the race it's supposed to be. You got Indians running a Jamaican shop. It don't make sense. But again, aside from her answer, now I kind of understand. Again, we have this mindset as black people. Like, we are the most compassionate people on this earth. We understand how it feels to be excluded, to be oppressed, to be discriminated against. And so we don't want other people to feel that. And I understand that feeling. But you also have to understand self-preservation. You also have to understand no other race of people thinks in the sense of giving you the job over them. And now you can't tell me that that there's no Jamaican or Caribbean chefs applying for Jerk Junction. You can't tell me that. You can't tell me it's just East Indians. You can't tell me it's just, I see Africans up in there sometimes. You can't tell me it's just non-Caribbean people lining up for this job. Can't tell me that. But your staff is just them. It's only them. We have to start thinking like, when it comes to black business, you could have a business that's black owned, sure. It might be black owned currently. But you give it a couple years, and when you retire or when you pass away, who is the business going to go to if everyone else in the business is damn near, East Indian? It's going to go to East Indians. Or say you have children and you pass it down to one of your children. And this happens a lot where the children aren't really into the family business, which is another thing we need to kind of pattern up. Like all these other nations, they have businesses that run in the family and they create generational wealth. But we have this culture, and it comes from following the YT man. It comes from following Britain's way of thing, where we all want to do our own thing. We don't want to be tied to the family business and have to work for this. We want to all branch out and do our own thing. We don't create that generational wealth that every other race generates. Even in those white people, they have businesses that they are able to pass down from to family. But a lot of times what happens with our shops, with our stores, it gets passed down to some family member who ain't really that interested in the business. And so what does he do? He'll probably sell it to some other nation, or or just give it to somebody who's in the staff, who's been a manager for years. And if your entire manager is East Indian, it just goes to the East Indians. That's not multiracial. That's not being equal. That's a takeover. And you need to see it. You need to see the play. It's not about equality. That's not equality. Like, giving other people a chance is one thing. And you should just look at the fact that they don't give you a chance. If you was to apply for their off license, they're not giving you a chance. Your name is staying consistently at the bottom of the pile of CVs. You're not getting that chance. And we damn near, we don't even have, as little as we have, we don't have enough to be giving out some to other people. Like these other nations, they have something and they still don't give you. You have nothing and you're still trying to give to them. We as a people, we have to wake up to see it. We have to wake up to understand what's happening. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we got somebody else, I think, requested to join the live. All right, we got Sir Bus TV. What's going on, Sir Bus TV?
Yeah, we spoken before,
Yeah,
and
I recall.
yeah, they're banning ownership. You know, like Jamaicans are not, allowed to own their own beaches,
Yep.
which is sad. Also, the other day I witnessed BLK Jamaicans like myself sitting down playing dominoes with Lucifer, right?
Yep.
And when I mean Lucifer, his name is Mark Golden. He's a Blue Star person that was born in Jamaica in 1965. Most Jamaicans don't know he's a Blue Star person, but I did my research on this
What
person
does
called
Blue
Mark
Star
Golden.
mean? Forgive my ignorance. What does Blue Star mean?
JEW.
Okay, I got
Yeah.
you. Okay.
Yeah. Mark Golden is a Blue Star person that was born in Jamaica in 1965.
I understand.
So yeah, I saw them smiling, laughing, playing dominoes with this devil. And I said, you see, this is why our people are taken advantage of in Jamaica and the diaspora as well. Because, they go to church every Sunday, they talk about Lucifer, yet and still, Lucifer is right there playing dominoes with them. I was horrified and I found it hilarious at the same time. But then every time I tell them, if you vote for Mark Golden, he's going to make you suffer because that man is the enemy of our people, but they don't know that. All I get is tap your eyes, shut your mouth, suck your mother. Okay, cool. And they've even blocked me off their platform. So as much as I feel bad for our people, they're beyond help.
For real, like imagine when we are trying to love our own, when we are trying to be for our own, when we're trying to warn other people. Like even what happened in America with Nolan Wells and with how so many black people have been found hung from trees and they keep ruling it as self-unalivings. We've been trying to warn our people since 1969 to never trust thine enemy. We see them as our friend. Even if you look at any carnival, now again, carnival is not our culture, It's not what we should be doing. It's a whole lot of sexual deviancy up in there. It's really the YT person's culture and bacchanalia. That's where it comes from. It comes from that.
It's a Roman festival.
Exactly. It comes from their Roman festivals, and it's just, all manner of sexual deviancy and orgies and just nasty stuff. Now we want to take on their culture. We want to take on their culture and we call it our own, sure. But then even when you have the Caribbean Carnival, it's full of other races of people. It's full of them people. It's full of East Indians, full of YT people. Like anything that we claim to have of our own, we let them in and it gets taken over. Even I seen one video, my rib sent me this the other day. I'm mad that I can't find it now. Matter of fact, Kayla, see if you can resend me that video where it was some festival where they were playing Jamaican music. They had some effigy in the background of a black woman, and there was some blown up balloon or something, and she had her legs open and her legs were going like this, upside down. Yeah, if you could send me that video, that would be fine. Send it to
whining on her head top. There was mimicking the black woman whining on her head top. Yeah,
exactly. And the audience was full of white people, not a black person in sight. And it just shows how, for one, they just take everything that we have. Like they hate our people, but love our flavor. That's how you get your M.R's, your white yardies, this, that, and the third. You get them people. But the disrespect that they show to us as well, like it's disrespectful. I seen some white guy, I covered this in my show yesterday. I don't know if you've seen this video, Sir Boss. I don't know if you've seen this, but it was some white man who again does these videos. He does skits where he's a white guy with a Jamaican accent, and that's the whole thing. That's the whole haha funny white guy Jamaican accent. Don't expect that. And he's doing this interview. I'm about to show you this video real quick. Let me get your thoughts on this. Since you brought up that topic of we allowing them people in, let me just show you this video from my last show. Matter of fact, is there anything that you wanted to add to the topic before I play the video?
No, go ahead, brother.
All right, no sweat. Let me play this real quick. Let me see.
Again, if you're white.
So she asked, how are you Jamaican if you're white? Let me run it from the top.
How are you Jamaican if you're white?
It's a good question. Well, you know, it's a nationality, not a race.
So it's not giving colonizer?
No.
Okay.
But you keep talking about that, colonize your pum pum.
No.
That came off really bad.
This man said,
If I said that, I'd be a pervert.
that's what I'm saying. Like if say it was some rapper that always raps about stealing or thieving or this, that, and the third, and she asked him the same question. Well, why you always rap about stealing? He said, hey, you keep talking like that, I'll steal your pom pom. Ain't nobody in there laughing. That's not a laughing matter. This man said, I'll colonize your pom pom, and how disrespectful that is. And they're in there laughing, in there kikiing and laughing.
I've got something else to add, brother.
Go ahead.
Mel B from Spice Girl, she was in a interview, I don't know, but there was a group of other people and this white team, and I forgot his name. She was sitting next to him, and he put his hands on her rear end. And she, noticed that he did it, and she pointed it out like, hey, look what he's doing.
Right.
And said, nah, that's inappropriate. There was no outrage. There was no cancellation. But if a BLK man did that, oh my God.
Right.
He would end up like young Philly.
That's facts. He would absolutely end up like Young Philly, which is a brother. That brother's from, where he from? He from Dominican? No, he from Colombia.
His parents are Colombian.
Colombian brother. That's exactly right. Matter of fact, it's another video. Cap brought this out the other day. I think it was Louis Theroux, or was it Tim Westwood? Tim Westwood made comments about, I think it was Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion. And it's the same type of thing. Like, you wouldn't do that if that was a white woman right there. You wouldn't do that if it's a white artist. But our women, to them, are just women to be disrespected. Are just women to be sexualized. And we as a nation of people, we've allowed it to happen. As you say, there's no outrage. There's no. Go ahead.
Yeah, brother. I don't know if you know the streamer called Chud the Builder. He's a whitey. He's a whitey bigot that was going around filming and trying to antagonize BLK people in America. I remember he was at a petrol station, and he must approach a group of BLK girls. And, he's like, well, I feel so unsafe in this neighborhood because of BLK people, So they're like, it's all right, we got you. And then he referred to them as she-boons. Oh, look at these she-boons. There was no outrage. They never flipped out and slapped him up.
Right.
And I'm like, if I called them a she-boon and tell them not to chimp out, I would have got rushed.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we too, and that comes from Christianity. Like, that comes from Christianity, how we were taught that the white man is Jesus, and Jesus is God, mind you. So the white man is God. That's who our God is. That's who all the angels are. That's who everything good and pure and righteous is white. It's all white. Then what are we? We see ourselves as nothing. So for one, when a brother does something, an offense against you, you way quicker to cuss him out, to cause violence on him, to just resent him for the rest of your life, him or her, for the rest of your life. But some, angelic being, some gutter rat, some I can't even say the words on TikTok. Some snow roach, or snow possum says or does something to offend you, And it's just turn the other cheek. He didn't mean it like that. They didn't mean it like that. They just, you gotta forgive them. They're just, that's just how they are. And you turn a blind against them.
Yeah, there was another one a couple of years ago where the brother was from St. Lucia and she was a whitey American police officer. I think they was having some sort of fling, and I don't remember what happened, but she, the demonic rage comes over them, and she went upstairs with her little pistol and unalived the brother. And then in court, the brother of the slain brother from St. Lucia, he was crying and he said, you know what, in spite of what I'm not saying it verbatim, but along the lines of, in spite of what you did to my brother, I'm ready
Yep.
to forgive you.
Now, was
And
that
he
police
rushed
officer?
down and
Was that the
hugged
white
her.
police
I'm
girl?
like, huh?
Was this? Was
Yeah,
this?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Is this the one? This might even be another one that I'm thinking of, where it was some white officer. Nah, I think I'm thinking of this one. But some white police woman shot and unalived this man's brother wrongfully. Then they were in court, and the brother and the mother was there of the man she had just unalived. And
Yeah.
while she's on the stand being read her like crimes and what she did, she's like crying or something, or she looks upset. It's a black woman as a was it the judge or like a security guard,
The judge hugged her
and
as well.
brushing her hair,
Yes, yes,
brushing her
yes.
hair. She
That's the
goes
same one.
and the same one. The family goes and hugs this devil, the unalived, the woman's son, the man's brother. I mean, good night. Salakis. It just made me go ahead. Talk about how you was going to talk about it. My point.
Yeah, I mean, when we do something against each other, we would never forgive each other. We'll carry that grudge to the grave. But when the enemy does something to us, within seconds we're ready to forgive them. I mean, the self-hate amongst our people is astonishing.
You're absolutely right. And this is the thing, like you're absolutely right. And we need to flip that around. We need to flip that around. Like we always saying, love your neighbor, love your neighbor. And to a Christian, that means love the enemy, even though he enslaved you, even though he assaulted you, even though he just unalived your brother, even though he just unalived your son or your baby girl, even though he did that, love them still. But you don't see that you're the same, your physical neighbor, the same black man or woman that grew up in the council estates, that grew up in the hood with you, that grew up in the ghetto with you. You don't see them as your neighbor. Now, if they owed you £5 and haven't given it back yet, I mean, you're bad eyeing them and just bad mind
Yeah,
towards them. I mean, good night.
and brother, I want to add as well
Go
that I've had back in the day, I've had conversations with my fellow Jamaicans, and I said that people like Michael Manley, Alexander Bustamante, and there was another person, yeah, should not be national heroes. Bustamante, during the 1960s, persecuted Rastafarians, Nazarites in Jamaica. Unalived or unalive, bring them in, shave their heads, right? Michael Manley was married to a BLK woman in Jamaica. She woke up to the fact that our people, were being persecuted and, economically castrated. So she had a conversation about it with him. He wasn't interested in no BLK liberation.
right.
So I said Jamaicans, yeah, Michael Manley and this other
This is Michael
Bustamante, ain't no,
Manley, right?
yeah, him. Yeah, he's the devil. Yeah, there ain't no national heroes because there was never for our people, right? The reason all of this started was because of Marcus Garvey. Marcus Garvey rose up and started to teach our people how to liberate themselves. So COINTELPRO and the Alphabet Boys started doing side spying on BLK people in America and the Caribbean because of this Black Messiah. And they're still doing it till this day.
Still doing it.
Because one of the
That's
Alphabet
why
Boys came out and said that he unalived Bob Marley.
right.
He did it. Yeah.
Right. Good night. That's why in the ISUPK we do not allow any other nation up in here. We will not allow any other nation to infiltrate. And of course, we're not supposed to be around them like that. We're not supposed to we're not supposed to trust them. The Bible says, never trust thine enemy. You can't be in this body. We barely want to be around you. But if we in public spaces, we'll tolerate you. But you ain't getting up in this body. You ain't infiltrating us like you've infiltrated so many other movements. And you know they've tried. You know they've tried. Matter of fact, let me get you. This is the video I was talking about before with some they playing Jamaican music. They call it Reggaeville or Reggae Jam Festival. And let me play you this Reggae Jam Festival.
Absolute mockery.
Absolute mockery. And I mean, this this
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is this is what they see our women are. And for our sisters that are in, all up in carnival or in the clubs doing this activity, you're giving them a reason. You're letting
They,
them treat you like trash. You're letting them see you as nothing but a sex object. The scriptures call our sisters to be modest, to be dressed in modest apparel, not upside down with your backside hanging out, not on the top
yep.
of cars, not I mean, I've seen some of these videos, man. It is diabolical. I seen I'm scrolling through my feed and I'm seeing pictures of like Leicester Carnival, and this is another thing. I think that must have been recently to be popping up on my feed because I don't care for carnival at all. But I'm seeing like there's videos of like young girls dancing like this. Not even just the grown women. It's young girls in the carnival dressed the same way you see people dressed at carnival. I mean, I don't even go there and see it, but I see it online. Dressed like that on stage. Matter of fact, let me see if I can, because I don't want y'all to think I'm just chatting. I seen this flipping video and it just irritates the life out of me. How from young, all these other nations are sexualizing us. We allow it and we are sexualizing ourselves. Like there are so many things that we need to fix within this community. There were so many things like, and there was some woman that this girl was with while she was popping her ass on the street. I couldn't tell how old she was. She looked young to me. And her guardian or somebody was there and looked at her and she stopped and she turned around. She had a little smile and carried on running. Like, but do you disapprove or do you not? She's still dressed. She's still out in the middle of the street dressed in damn near nothing. She's still shaking her backside out in public for the world to see. But because you caught her, she can do it basically, but not in front of you. And this is how our women end up. This is our reputation right here. This is what our reputation is. And it's an absolute mockery.
Yeah, and this is where I've had debates with the Kemetic community, and they always come up with this nonsense about, male and female have masculine and feminine principles, so yeah, the BLK woman is God and she's supposed to lead. I'm like, nah, brother, you're the one who's supposed to lead. Every other man is the head of their community, so the BLK man should also be the head of his community. None of this, the BLK woman has masculine principles and you as a man has feminine principles, because that will just leave you stagnant as a man. You're not going to compete with other men in running your society, and at the moment we're failing, right? Because if the head is out of order, then so is the rest of the body. And I blame this on the Kemetic community because they worship that Mahat, this goddess. She's about order, balance.
Right.
I'm like, yeah, nonsense, rubbish.
Videos I see of the black women. I'm not bashing black women. I love our sisters when you are in your righteous state. But the stuff I see of black women, if black women were God, then we are done for. We're done. Just pack it up, give it up. We are absolutely done. Black women allows all manner of things in our community. Supports all manner of things in our community. If she is God, then we are done for. That black woman. She is beautiful. She is, a mother to our children. You know what I'm saying? She is, she is a helpmeet. She is a, our sisters are beautiful inside and out when they in the right spirit. But don't ever think in your mind that black woman is God. A black woman, no woman should lead you of a man.
You see, they let these Kemetic con artists fill their head up about, yes, sister, the black woman is God and all praises to Mahat. Sister, I keep telling sisters, yeah, these Kemetic con artists, they gas you up to get you pregnant, then bounce. Yeah?
That's
That, yeah,
literally all
yeah,
that is.
yeah,
It's money. They in
yeah.
there, you know what I'm saying? Oh, the black woman is this and that, and you're so great. It's to get the money in your pocket because you're so naive. If you was really had any wisdom about it and were really balanced, you would see that all these brothers is trying to do is get in your pockets or get in your drawers. That's it. If you were so wise and you were God and this, you would see that, would you not?
Absolutely.
So
And
like,
when I speak as a Hebrew Israelite, I say, yeah, the black woman's supposed to be the Proverbs 31 woman, the man's supposed to be the head of the community, and the woman's supposed to be under the covering of the man, right? Men were supposed to be out here being the warriors. Oh, you're misogynistic and down with the patriarchy. Oh, you hate women, you hate your mom. Well, and I keep telling them, this is why my mom been with the same man since 1981, right? Plenty of a lot of our women have multiple baby daddies. Why? Because you unruly. Yeah, you let these Kemetic con artists gas your head up, making you believe that you're a strong BLK woman. You're supposed to be the head of the community. Then they get you pregnant and bounce. Right. While men like me, we want to, stand up for our community and lead our community and produce families and be a part of that family.
I mean, good night. You telling me the black woman is God? So the black woman, the same black woman that's God, is a single mother with 5 baby daddies. So God is a single mother with about 3 to 5 baby fathers. I mean, good night. So if there's any sister, sis, listen, you have power in your femininity. You are you know what I'm saying, when you are in your righteous state, sis, the things a woman can do for her man and support her family is outstanding, immeasurable. But you are not God. You are not above your man. You are in your most beautiful state, in your most feminine state. And sis, you trying to be all masculine and trying to be the leader, it don't even gel with your own spirit. You get yourself stressed out, then you get angry at your man because he's not leading, because deep down you want him to lead. You're just too damn stupid to let him lead, too damn stubborn and ignorant, and thinking you're all high and mighty and I ain't gonna listen to no man. He ain't my father. Well, Salaki says you didn't even have a father to listen to, but you need a man to listen to. That's what you need. We've had families run by single women for so long, and look at the condition. Look at what the outcome has been. It hasn't turned out so well. I would think that God could lead a household a little bit better. That black man that you see as nothing is closer to God than you are.
60 years later, we're far from conservatism. Liberalism has messed up our community because in the 1960s, our people was getting married in the 90%. The father was in the household, the children were disciplined. Yeah, we didn't know any better back in the 1960s, but we was going to church, right? We had order, system, and structure. And then the YT woman got in the BLK woman's head and said, "Oh, you don't need your man. I'm a strong woman. Hear me roar." That Helen, she came out with that song. Yeah, I'm a '90s girl. Cause there's a song. I don't know if in the 1990s, this group called Black Girl, where at the beginning of the video there was a young boy and a young girl, and the young boy was saying, "Yeah, we're gonna get married, we're gonna have a family, and this and that." So the little girl said, "No, I want to be a 90s girl, just like my mom." And then the song started, and the mom walked out the house, no husband, no nothing. She's raising her daughter to be a single mom just like her. So songs like, I'm a 90s girl, I don't need no man, That messed up a generation of BLK women.
I mean, good night. Good night. What the brother describing is damn near it's a biography of just what happens. It's just we want to be the same. You know, we saw our young sisters or daughters saw their mother treat their husband or their man, the third baby daddy, like trash. And so what do? They don't want to be settled down. They don't want to be tied down. And apparently being a married woman, being with one man and being a wife and a mother, apparently that's oppression. That's oppression. But being treated as less than nothing, being let me show you all the picture again. Hold on. Being this is freedom. This is freedom, and being a wife and a mother and somebody who's respected is slavery. All right. Lord be with you.
Well,
No,
give me the slave any day over a rebellious
right.
woman.
Give me
that. I'll have that.
Yeah, I'll take a sister who is just, slavery is good for me. Whatever slavery looks like, if it means the law, statutes, and commandments, if that apparently is being a slave, then I'll be a slave. I'll be a slave, but not to the white man. Not to the white man and what he wants me to do. Not to the white woman and what she wants me to do. I'll be a slave to the Most High. I'll be a servant to Yahweh. That's who I'll be a servant to. Because doing this.
Kemetic community.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you know the Kemite con artists always say, "Oh, yeah, body man, F1. Oh, yeah, worship man." I'm like, it's not about worshiping no man. It's about the Creator, right? It's about that. You Kemite con artists, you want to worship the woman, right? You're supposed to be the head, but you're making yourself the tail and making her the head. This is why our community is out of order, because if you go to the whitey man, the chin man, and the Arab man, he's running his community with an iron fist.
Right.
Our community, it's like, the men, it's like the jellybat men are praised over the mighty men. It's sad.
And that goes back to slavery. You could not be a strong-minded man. You could be physically strong because you had to work them fields. But from the slavery, and which it was the Willie Lynch, I believe, that, and through buck breaking and all that stuff, they trained our women to raise their sons up mentally weak and physically strong, and then their daughters to be mentally strong. And so now, a woman can con her way 5 ways around a man, but she'll still give the tail up to them Kennedys. She'll still give the tail up and give her money to some panderer or some man who's just whispering sweet nothings in her
Let's
ears.
coin this term, Kemite con artist. Dr. Umar Johnson, I rock with him sometimes. I agree with some of the stuff he say, but he's a Kemite con artist. Because he's talking about, he's saying to us as brothers that we should marry the sisters, but he made, he never married none of his baby moms.
Right. Doesn't he have a couple babies with some black women he never married? He just, matter of fact, he called one of them the throat goat.
Yeah.
This brother, he talks about women as God and this, that, and the third, or
he's currently in the UK now. He was marching through London.
I've seen that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he treats women like trash. But he says, what he says is, sounds good to you. So?
Yeah, it's a contradiction. He's just another pander, another Kemite con artist. So, I don't really rock with him like that anymore.
Yeah, absolutely not. The men you should rock with are the men in the I.S.U.P.K and the Commanding General Yahanna. That's who you should rock with. We understand the proper role for men and for women. We understand that both of our sexes, both men and women, we have work to do. We need to fix ourselves up. Nobody is going to fix us up for us. Nobody is going to care to really stop the knife crime in our neighborhoods, to really stop the whoring out of our sisters, to really stop the drug abuse, the violence, the lack of care we have for one another. No other nation is going to care enough.
You know what, brother?
Go ahead.
You know what made me laugh? I saw a video of a group of white tea women that came to Jamaica on holiday, and then you had this dancing instructor, which was a Jamaican woman, teaching these white tea women how to whine, you know, to be in time with the rhythm. And I said, do you know what you sisters are doing? You are teaching
Teaching her to
these
take
these snow bunnies to steal your men, because you saying that, you know, Jamaican man is nothing and the BLK man is nothing, but yet you're teaching these snow bunnies how to whine. And what do you think is going to happen next? If them can whine and they got big batty, they're going to take your man, and you're going to be all alone. Come on, sisters, you have to be smart. You have to fight for your men.
We just giving up everything. We just giving up everything to them, and they take it and they use it. They use it. Them white women is snatching up niggas left and right. So F1. They snatching up brothers left and right. I seen. It was a brother we interviewed from Express Truth. He said they get lost up in them white crutches. White crutches is damn near the downfall of far too many black men. It drives them crazy. You just get lost. You get put in a sunken place. I don't know what it is, but this is what the brother said. You know what it is about the white crutches, but black men have lost their mind. We need to regain it. Black men and black women collectively. We need to put our screws back in place. Now, hold on. This is my reputation. Being this effigy of this black woman with her arse blown up as balloons. That's your reputation. Hold on. I want to actually be respected. I would think that's something you'd want. Hold on. I want to be treated as more than just a plaything or something to pass around, like you pass around a blunt. Just, you know, you would think.
Where's the outrage for that, though? Where's the outrage?
I don't see it. Matter of fact, let me go in the comments. It's probably people praising it. It's probably I can imagine. So on that video of the white guy saying he's gonna colonize her pum pum, in the comments they were saying, oh yeah, he's definitely Jamaican. The comments were saying, man, it was just ridiculous.
Imagine if you said that, brother, $1 across your face.
Yeah, I wouldn't dream to disrespect a black woman like that. I wouldn't dream of doing something like that. And that's, man, it's just diabolical. I could go around in circles just talking about how diabolical this oppressor is, the devil is. We need to just start seeing it. We need to see it. That's the thing. We don't see it enough. We see wrongdoing, and we see when a black man is disrespectful, or when a black man is, you know, rude, or, you know, just does something that's out of pocket. But we don't see it. We got blinders on when it comes to white Jesus, when it comes to white God. That's what they see Caesar Borgia whenever that white man does something diabolical and he just gets away with it. What we need to understand, that Christ is a black man. Christ is a brother like you and I. From there, maybe we can get something, you know, some cogs turning in the minds of our people. We are not people to be disrespected. We are not people to be treated as sex objects. We are not criminals and gangbangers and just disorderly people. That's not who we are. That's not who we are. We've tried, like the Bible says, my people have the zeal for God, but we lack knowledge. I'm paraphrasing. Like we are so zealous up in that Christian church, rolling across the floor like a you know, you're having a fit or something. We zealous for that all them tongues and all that nonsense. We zealous up in that Christian church, but we're not zealous for the real law, statutes, and commandments. We're not zealous for the real reputation of God and the real reputation of Christ. That's what we need to be zealous for.
You know, I remember my nan came up from Jamaica, and I was talking to her about slavery, and she's like, oh, that's a long time. Yeah, bless her heart. You know, she's 85 years old, and she's been in the Christian church all her life, right? But knowing what I know now, it's like for 80 years you've been duped, you know, because you're like, oh, that was a long time ago.
Yep.
Yeah, they're getting away with schmurder,
They
F1,
absolutely get
F1,
away with it. Exactly.
right? Yeah, because, I saw a news where this BLK man, he must have unalived some YT woman in Bristol, 1967, right? And just recently, in I think 2025, they arrested him for the unalivement of that woman back in 1967.
Right.
So I'm like,
I
well,
think the statute of
it's been 60 years, so let him get away with it. Let him go. But then our people were like, yeah, let it go. It was a long time ago.
Right.
Man,
I mean, Nolan Wells was damn near yesterday. People are still being found hung on trees in this day and age. Nolan Wells was unalived on July 4th. This was just last month. And the impacts of slavery still impact us to this day. But we forgive them. We don't forgive our people. We need to take all that compassion and love and forgiveness. Cut it off for them. Turn off the tap. I know it might hurt your poor Christian heart to not love everybody. But deep down you don't love everybody. You love everybody else. But you don't love your people. You don't love yourself. Turn it off for them. We need to deal with what's in our house first. Before we giving out everything. We just giving everything up when we have nothing. Meanwhile, these other nations, they have, and they don't give to us. I'd say that us keeping the little that we have, keeping it to ourselves, that to me is treating everybody equal. That's what everybody else does. Now people need
yeah,
to understand that.
I've always asked Jamaicans this question, because I like to shout, out of many one people. So I've always asked them, if out of many one people is true, how is it that BLK jammers, for TikTok safety? Because I think the last time I said Jamaicans too much, my life got banned. So jammers, the last time, I said BLK jammers are the majority in that country. Yet we don't own none of jammers' wealth. But then the people at the top who are non-BLK jammers own all the wealth. So what are they doing politically for our people?
Right.
Crickets. But out of many one people, yeah? We're all one Jamaicans. But then, okay, why you ain't looking out for, your fellow BLK Jamaican?
Right.
We need to be rich too.
Right.
Because millions of us are living below the poverty line while you're up there on the hills,
Right.
eating steak and lobster.
We end up like, I'm not sure if you've seen a video of the Jerk Junction, but a sister was pointing out there was a Jerk Junction, which is a Caribbean restaurant, and it was all like East Indians working in there. There was a single Jamaican person. There was a single yardie working in the restaurant. Not a single one. And that's what happens.
Yeah. Funny you mentioned that. Well, I think, yeah, Samuel L. Jackson, there was filming, I think, the movie Spider-Man, and there was a part, it was an outtake where he said, run me down to that Chinese Jamaican restaurant, Wings and Tings, to pick up some food because we're hungry. So I'm like, you see that? Chinese
Like
Jamaican wings and Tings,
Things and
right?
things. Okay.
Yeah. So
Chinese Jamaican
okay,
restaurant.
so they could put Chinese on Jamaican food, but then what would happen if we had a black-owned Chinese restaurant?
Right. Exactly. You don't see it. You don't see even black people trying to say you have some authentic Chinese restaurant. You don't see black people trying to get in there, trying to infiltrate that. Say you have a authentic Indian restaurant. You don't see us trying to get in there. We know that's their thing. But whenever we have something of our own, they always trying to get in. They're always trying to get a piece, get some land, get in there, and just take it over. It's diabolical work.
Yeah, I've always said to our people that out of many one people slogan, yeah, they sold you a dream. They've given you the illusion of this rainbow coalition so that, everyone is getting Jamaica's wealth except you. If you keep going to church every Sunday, worshiping Sergio Bajir, you ain't going to question. So, dog, you and him, the whitey man, the Chinese Jamaican, you lot have wealth in the country. What about us?
Right.
How come we can't get some of the wealth too?
Right. We can't even do something so simple as go to our own beaches. I mean, good night. But Bus, that was it's like you got something you wanted to close out with? That's gonna be my final my closing statement.
Yeah, all of these resorts, because even, like people in my family were praising the owner of Sandals Resort. Like, yeah, he's a Jamaican and I'm like, yeah, he's a YT man. The Sandals Resorts owner, he's a YT man because, he may have children born in Jamaica, but he ain't doing nothing for BLK people. He's got BLK people working for him at the resort, and he ain't doing nothing for them.
Right.
Because there was one that sacked a server at one of the hotels in Montego Bay Airport. Montego Bay Hotel, sorry. Yeah, because he said that, he was serving the customers too many drinks. So, yeah, they fired him on the spot.
Yeah, we're just for help. Imagine this is supposed to be Jamaica. This is supposed to be an independent country that's ran by us. All these other nations own damn near all the businesses, all the major corporations. Like we own what? Little souvenir shops and little businesses by the coast trying to earn a penny off these tourists. But all their mega resorts and damn near
Sting Reggae Sunfest, we don't own it.
Good night. And they setting up these resorts to even take what little we had. Them small little businesses we had is to take from that where they're now going to set up their own souvenir shops in them resorts. So you don't even need to go outside. You don't need to give a single penny to them black people. No, spend all your money in here. But out of many one people. Yeah.
Yeah, the biggest hoax in the history of Jamaica. Out of many one people.
I'm saying it's that same Christian lullaby. God loves everybody. We take that to heart. We take it to heart. They just take to their pockets. They just take money. That's all they care about.
It was my final statement. It was Khalid Muhammad. Even though he was in the Nation of Islam, I did rock with some of the stuff he said. But he took Brother Malcolm's line and he said to the effect of, "We didn't land on Plymouth Rock. We got hit in the head with a damn rock." Right. And he's right.
Yeah, good night.
We got hit in the head with a rock. And
a crack rock did a number on it. I'm trying to tell you. Then y'all still trying to bow down to a rock. We served enough
gave
rock.
Us amnesia.
We done served enough rock in our lifetime. That rock done hit us over the head. Then God put in the pipe. I mean, we need to just put down all rocks. Rocks, just leave rocks alone for a minute.
Till we get back to the Most High. No wood, no stone. Get back to the Most High.
That's what I'm saying. That's facts. All right, boss. I appreciate you coming on for the live. I'm about to close out for the show. As we discussed over this show, to all my brothers and sisters, we need to come back together. Back together as one. We need to stop loving our enemies so much and use all that love and compassion and mercy to use all that towards your own people. It's not racism, it's not hatred, it's not discrimination. It's doing what every other race on this earth does. And they benefit from it. But they have you lost in the source where you don't benefit yourselves, you benefit them. That's all you are to them. All you are is just a individual to financially exploit, to sexually exploit, to just have their way with. have their way with your land, have their way with the people, and just keep you dumb.
Here comes a fish.
Go ahead. Oh, good night. Yeah, I ain't gonna answer that question. I ain't gonna answer that. All I'm gonna say is the Most High created the male and female. Male and female created he them. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, and one more thing as well.
I'll let you
Yeah, I
go.
was on
We gotta
Facebook
close
going
out.
back with our own people about the same topic, and I'm like, that ain't got nothing to do with our culture.
Right.
That ain't got nothing to do with us. That's
Mhm.
Greco-Roman culture.
Right. That's an abomination in the Bible. I don't know how you try and get around that, but it ain't nothing to do with us, nothing to do with our people. And if there's any of our people in that community, they need to make a swift exit. That is all. All right. With that, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Barakatam to all my brothers. All right, boss, I appreciate you coming on. And Yahweh, go
Yeah,
ahead,
no
sis.
problem.
All right, and Yahweh Shema Ayalatan Bahashem Yahushua to my sisters. All right, I'll see y'all next Sunday, 2 p.m. All right, let's get it on. Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom.